Hi again, welcome to my kitchen. Today what I'm going to make is a awesome prime rib. I'm going to smoke it on my Traeger grill. What I'm going to start by doing though is I'm going to cut a whole bunch of holes in the fat cap, and I'm going to shove these little pieces of garlic in there. It's going to add a really nice flavor to the roast, and it's going to smell awesome. And then I'm also going to rub it down with some olive oil, and I'm going to season it generously with my seasoning that I made myself here. The seasoning is basically 1 tablespoon of kosher salt, 1 tablespoon of pepper, half tablespoon of garlic powder, half tablespoon of onion powder, and about a teaspoon of smoked paprika. That's it, but you want to season it generously. It will make this really nice crust on the outside of the prime rib. I'm going for a medium rare temperature on the inside, and I'll talk all about that when I'm throwing it on the grill. For now, I'm going to tell you what else I'm going to make to go with the prime rib, because you need a few little sides for something this fancy. I've got potatoes that are already boiling, 3 large potatoes, and I'm going to mash them. I'm also going to throw in 5 cloves of garlic into the boiling water. It sounds like a lot, but because I'm boiling them, it loses a lot of the flavor, so you're only going to get this really nice mild flavor of garlic in your potatoes, which is perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and throw that on in there. They're going to take about 20 minutes or so. You just got to do the fork poke to make sure when your fork goes right through and it kind of splits in half, then you know they're done. They're perfect for mashing. I'm also going to add some butter and some heavy whipping cream to them, and a cup of Parmesan cheese, because Parmesan makes everything taste better. Also, what I'm going to add to this amazing feast is asparagus bouquets that I'm going to wrap with prosciutto, and I'm going to throw those on my Traeger grill at the end when these are getting closer to done cooking. And I think this meal is going to be amazing. My husband's pretty excited because he's on night shifts tonight, and he gets to take a 5-star meal with him to work in his lunchbox. All right, so I'm going to start by poking some holes in this beast. So I also wanted to talk a little bit in this video. I've had a lot of friends and family and even colleagues who have been contacting me and loving all my videos that I'm posting, but they're all wondering where this whole cooking inspiration has come from, because I have a career, I have a full-time career, something very different from cooking, and so they're just curious if I'm changing paths or if I'm just starting something new or something on the side. They just don't know. So I figured I'd kind of clarify that a little bit in this video. Basically, to start off, I'm a police officer. I've been a police officer for 14 years and love my job. Was really good at it. I miss it tremendously right now. I am on a leave without pay it's called for care and nurturing, with the support of the organization. So they're 100% supportive of me taking this leave. Basically, 2 years ago, October 2017, my husband and I welcomed twins that were conceived using an amazing, selfless surrogate. Somebody we didn't know at the time before this whole process, but has now become part of our family. She's just an amazing and incredible woman. And so she's part of our family now. We love her dearly. We talk to her regularly. She gets to see the kids whenever that's possible. Anyway, so we had the babies, and unfortunately, our son Huxley was born with a very severe heart defect called tetralogy of Fallot. Really scary. We knew before they were born, but basically you wait until they're born to see how bad of a condition you're dealing with. So once they were born, it was found that it was pretty severe. At 4 months old, he did undergo open heart surgery to fix some of the problems, and he recovered great, and he's a happy, healthy 2-year-old boy now, like crazy. Runs around like a maniac, and just a normal 2-year-old, very loud, very destructive, very loving, which is great. And then sadly though, at just about 1 year, at about their 1-year birthday, our daughter got diagnosed with, it's called Kawasaki disease. We were really not familiar with this condition. It was completely a blindside to us what this all meant, what it was. We spent about a week and a half in the hospital with her, and they wound up treating her for Kawasaki disease. And it's also a condition that affects the heart. So as you can imagine, how mortified we were to hear this. But they treated her and she recovered greatly from this treatment. It was like a transfusion that she received, and she's super happy, healthy, normal 2-year-old as well. So we're very, very fortunate for, even though we've had some serious obstacles over the last couple years, we've managed to pull through. So after that, because of the treatment with the Kawasaki, the doctors said that she can't be vaccinated until her 2nd birthday. They have to wait a year after the treatment before she can receive her live vaccines, which means she's exposed to all those conditions like measles and all the outbreaks that seem to be like all happening now. That's all you hear on the media and Facebook. So it's a little scary for us, and we decided that it wasn't appropriate to put them in daycare and me go back to work. So we discussed it for a length of time, and then decided that I was going to stay at home and raise them for now anyways, and my husband would work. So we're fortunate that we're able to do that and survive with one salary. But it's better for our family and for our kids. So that's why I got to cooking. When I'm in the kitchen, all my stresses, all my anxieties, all world problems, I can put them aside and I can do what I love. Yeah, sometimes, you're just dealt these cards and you just got to deal with it. So we did, and we've made it through all the hard times. Trying to talk this through here without getting emotional. Hope I'm doing okay. Anyways, enough about that. You got the story. I'm going to go back to cooking. I've stuffed my prime rib with the garlic. Now I'm going to give it a good rub down with this olive oil. Just like this, all over each side. Underneath, on the sides, perfect. And then I'm going to generously sprinkle my seasoning on it. Rub that in. Get it nice and coated. You really can't over season a nice prime rib like this. It adds such a nice, it's almost like the crust almost becomes this like meat candy. It's so good. My favorite part. And the rendered fat with all this seasoning on it, oh, it's so good. All right, I'm also going to flip it over and get the underneath. So this one here has the bone on. There's only 2 bones. It's preferable if you are doing a roast. 3+ is better because it will cook more evenly. Doesn't mean you can't do it with 2 bones. I mean, for us, it's only for 3 people, so I think 3 bones would have been a little bit too much. But usually I do get 3 bones. This one here was just a really good price at the store too. And so when you buy it from your butcher, you can ask him to cut off the bones for you, and then he'll tie it back on with a string. It makes it so much easier at the end for when you're ready to slice your meat. All right, so that's all done. My potatoes are almost done, and I'm gonna show you, I'm gonna go get my grill started, and I'm gonna throw this bad boy on there and show you then. So I got my Traeger set to the max, which is the 450 setting. She's registering at about 420 right now, which is good. That's usually about where she hovers, 420, 400, which is fine. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw my prime rib on the grill. I already have a pan inside that I've put about 2 cups of beef broth in it. I wanted the beef broth to get warm before I put the roast on, so it didn't bring down the temperature if I added it at the same time. My roast has been resting on the counter for about 2 hours because I want it to get down to like about room temperature. It will cook it more evenly that way. I also have pecan chips in my my grill here for the flavored smoke. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and throw it on. Okay, so what you see here is my meat thermometer. It's a great thermometer. If you do cook a lot of roasts and a lot of big chunks of meat, I suggest you invest in a really good thermometer. This one's Thermo Pro. It comes with 2 probes, which you can either insert into 2 different types of meat, so you can keep readings of that. Or like what I just did, I put one in my prime rib roast, right in the center of it. So I'll get the reading of the prime rib, and I also put one down on the grill rack. So that will tell me what the internal temperature of the grill is. That way I can monitor it from inside. It comes with this awesome wireless device that I can read both probes on here. And I can also set like an alarm. So if the grill goes above a certain number, it will start beeping for me. Or if I don't want the meat to go above a certain internal temperature, I can set it, and if it hits that meat temperature, internal temperature, it will start beeping, so I know to go and pull off my meat. So this is pretty awesome, but there's a lot of other thermometers out there, but definitely get one. So I'm going to let it go. I want it to get to an internal temperature of between 115 and 120. We like it medium rare, but even a little bit more on the rare side. If you're more into like a real medium rare, you could pull it anywhere between 120 and 130. You got to keep in mind that when you rest it after in tin foil for about 30 minutes, that temperature, the internal temperature, will rise about up to 10 degrees. So pull it earlier so that your meat gets to the right temperature, or if not, you could wind up with overcooked meat. That's how I like it. I'll show you the cut of it, and I'll tell you the exact internal temperature when I pull it. And that way you can kind of gauge off of that. If you like the color and consistency of my meat, you'll pull it when I did. And if you like it a little bit more well done, then you leave it a few more degrees internal temperature. Okay, so I'm going to let this go on high for 30 minutes because I want to get that nice outer crust. And then after that, after 30 minutes, I'm going to lower it to 325, and I'm going to let her cook at 325 from there until I get my perfect internal temperature. And then I'll show you what it looks like. So I pulled my prime rib, an internal temperature of 115. It took about, I want to say just over 2 hours. So it took a lot longer than I thought it would be. It's about a 5-pound roast. I was expecting it to take between 12 to 15 minutes a pound. So it did kind of go over that. I'm hoping the cook inside is, like I said, a nice medium rare, but even a little bit more on the rare side because we do like our red meat. All right, so I've let it rest under tin foil for 30 minutes already. I'm going to cut it open. First I'm going to cut off the bone. Okay. The bone is... meat on there. Oh, it's gonna be good. And then I put her like this, and I'm just gonna slice like 3/4 of an inch thick, half to 3/4. It's my nifty little saw here. It's pretty, comes in pretty handy for cutting prime rib. Oh yeah, she's cooked perfectly. Looks so good. And all the juices that are gonna end up on this tray, I'm gonna throw into the gravy, like the au jus that I'm gonna make for this. Oh, perfect. So when you cook a prime rib like this, it's kind of perfect because some people might not like rare. They might like it a little bit more well done or pink. And so you get the ends that are kind of like that. They're perfect. Like if you can see that, it's perfect for somebody who doesn't like it as pink. But the more you go into this roast, I'm just going to grab a fork here. So the more you go into this roast, the pinker it gets inside. Still a little. Just like that. See, like that there is beautiful, pink, juicy. This is a perfectly cooked prime rib. You know, it might have just taken longer because there is a lot of, there was a lot more of the fat cap on it, so maybe that kind of took a little bit longer to render. And meat's meat. It's going to be ready when it's ready. It's the motto. I'm making a mess here. Okay. And then the beautiful last piece. I'm going to just show you that now. If you can see, hopefully, without me dripping juice everywhere. She's perfect. Like, really well done inside, to our liking anyway. And like, I won't do it now because it's probably not ladylike, but I'm totally going to gnaw on that bone. Okay, so I'm going to leave that there. And what I'm going to do is, I've already got, let me get my hands rinsed here. I've already got all the drippings. Remember the beef broth that I had in the pan for while I was cooking the prime rib. All the juice that came out from the cook of the prime rib went into that pan. And so I poured it into my saucepan already. And I'm gonna add this juice because that's all gold. I'm gonna add a little bit of cornstarch with some hot water to thicken it just a little bit. I want it to be more of an au jus than a real gravy because that goes really well with prime rib, as well as some horseradish, some really hot horseradish, because that will do it justice. I also have my awesome looking little bouquets of asparagus wrapped in prosciutto that I threw on the grill for the last 15 minutes. They look perfect as well. My potatoes are also done. That might still be hot. So the mashed potatoes, I added 1 cup of Parmesan cheese once they were done and ready to mash. I added a ½ cup of heavy whipping cream. I put half of a block of butter, salt and pepper to taste, and I just mashed it real good until she was nice and smooth. That's all it takes, and they taste so good. Oh, and while the boiling water was going, I showed you earlier, I did add 5 cloves of garlic. So I tasted them. You get just this really mild taste of garlic, and then you taste that punch of Parmesan cheese in there. So good. This meal is going to be incredible. My mouth is watering just thinking about it. So I'm going to go ahead and finish that gravy, and then I'm going to show you the plating. So I'm almost done my plating. I've got my potatoes at the bottom, my beautiful looking prime rib on top, and my asparagus wrapped in prosciutto on the side. So this is a beauty. I hope you can see it. I'll take a picture and add it to the end of my video anyways, just in case you can't. So what I'm going to add to it now is my au jus. I thickened it just a very little bit with cornstarch, and the flavors are amazing. It's just like the natural beef flavor from all the drippings. It's so good. All right, give that a little stir. I'm just going to give it a drizzle all around everything. It tastes so good. You're going to want to eat with the potatoes too. One more. Okay. Now with that done, I'm also going to add this stuff. This horseradish is probably the hottest stuff I've ever had. Like, it will make you cry at moments, but it's so freaking good, and you need a nice horseradish with prime rib. So I'm going to get a good dollop of that, and I'm going to put it right on the side here. A little bit more. I know I'll eat it. All right. Last but not least, just a little sprinkle of green onion. That looks so good, and it smells even better. Okay. another show. There you go. This is my prime rib with Parmesan garlic mashed potatoes and prosciutto and asparagus. I hope you enjoyed this. If you liked what you saw, please like my video and subscribe. I will be doing about 2 videos a week with different recipes, some being on my smoker, some in the kitchen. I do a lot of meat, but sometimes I'll throw in the odd vegetarian dish. I hope you appreciated a bit of the reason how I got started on making this little YouTube channel for cooking. It's just a passion of mine and it makes me feel good inside. So there you have it, folks. Thanks for watching.